What's up everyone, it's Jambors, new video, and today I'm going to predict on semifinal 2 who's going to qualify, and I will use a quantification method. I use some math, some statistics to find out in 5 years, in 5 previous Eurovision where I was able to vote, what is the pattern of each country to send votes to. What kind of song, what kind of neighbor, what kind of diaspora is voting, and so on and so on and so on. And I put this all together in my specific columns and really did this craziness, right? And the reason is that, of course, most of the time when I'm commenting something, this can qualify, this won't, I'm using more like the emotion or let's say subjective point of view on such countries, such voting. I always not remember like how other countries really were voting. Some countries really like dance songs, some countries really don't like dance songs. Some countries are completely putting all the possible points to fun, and some countries doesn't, and so on and so on. So I put this all together, I did the math, and anyway, there is still a big factor of subjectivity. First of all, it's hard to combine all those years together in the way that they were very, very different. Some years were very strong on strong ballads, some years were strong on like something in the middle, something's on the dance, not really, but you know, this also, there are different conditions, different perceptions, and also different combination of countries in each semifinal. Also, what it's very important to say is that this, what I will do in here with semifinal 2 counts really for semifinals, right? Because semifinal public voting and final public voting really differs a lot for many factors. More people are watching the live finals. They can vote for much more countries, and also so many of, let's say, diaspora, for example, they are absolutely okay that their country is in the final and they're chilled out, and then they send points to anybody else. So those two contests are a little bit irrelevant even in public point of view. What it's very important in here, that in semifinals probably lesser group of people are in general voting, so it gives positions to some specific groups, nation diasporas, even smaller ones, some maybe political stuff also, or you know, those nation things. For example, when Russia wasn't there or hadn't a really, let's say, bad songs, they like artists who were kind of supporting Russia were receiving much more points from public for specific countries. This we need to all take in consideration, that also what I will show you doesn't need to be accurate, but I try to be as accurate as possible, but still, it's still a suggestion, right? So don't take it ultra seriously, but I think it tells a lot. I wrote some notes, what I wanted to tell you before I start to really giving you what I did and who will qualify. So first of all, the big thing at semifinals, is neighbor voting. Like, neighbor voting takes amazingly much and lots of points, like loads of points to the countries around, regardless the genre, regardless the sound, regardless anything. And that means with the system at Eurovision where 12 is for the first place and 10 and 8 and next, it's a big gap. So 12 points for neighbor countries makes a lot of difference, like they do. And we will see that in my prediction, we will always, and the countries always fight for the last, let's say, 4 places. Some year not, some year more, but this year it will be, in my opinion, much more crazier, and every single point really counts. And this gap, it's big, so neighbor voting, it's a huge thing. And the other thing is diaspora voting. Countries with big diaspora, Poland, Albania, Lithuania, and so on, they have a big advantage of those points, because they will be able to mobilize their fellow country members or people with the connection with the country to send the votes, which some countries cannot do. Also those points, even they're like 5 points, 3 points over there, 10 points over there, they matters. At the final, you know, at the final summary, they make a huge difference, or makes a difference between qualification or not even close. Other thing, this year will be very, in my calculations, especially in semifinal 2, the rest of the world voting will make the difference. Like, this is the voting which will really make a clear difference between who's gonna qualify and who's not gonna qualify. And they will have another, it goes with another thing that their voting will start much sooner. So again, whose marketing will be better, whose diasporas will be more activated, whose song, even in studio version, will be better, has just much bigger advantage. And I think to know this, it should activate the point of really starting to advertise your song everywhere it's possible. Because if you don't do it, you're losing this vote. Like, you're very probably losing this vote. And in semifinal 2, which is 16 countries, 6 countries are going home. It's the tougher semifinal. It's also tougher in the way that we never had, and this is also in my calculation, it's very hard to predict. We never had so many, let's say, joke acts or funny, quirky acts. We didn't have so many ethno music at one place. And with all the combinations together, this is creating a mix which went to those results. Let's talk. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad you're here. Hope you're interested. This will be a long video, right? Like, don't think that this will get that easy. I have prepared the Excel sheet in here for you. I took 5 years of Eurovisions where it was possible to vote. I put everything into it and it showed me some patterns. I also, in the semifinal 2, I put Spain, Italy and France votes, and also the world. I did 2 separate qualifications without rest of the world and with rest of the world, because it's very hard to predict rest of the world in the way that we only experience it once, and that's impossible to find out some pattern. So it's a guess. Like, even in general, this might be also a guess, subjective at some point, because when I'm speculating like what this country put 2 points or 1.2, I can be wrong. This is up to you to decide, and then after all results will be revealed at the end of Eurovision, maybe we can check it and see if I was accurate or I was not accurate, but definitely this should tell you something. So in the first semifinal, or in the second semifinal, are Austria, Malta, Switzerland, Greece, Czechia, Albania, Denmark, Armenia, Israel, Estonia, Georgia, Netherlands, Norway, Latvia, San Marino, and Belgium. Of course, each single country cannot vote for each other, but who can vote for them is also Spain, Italy, France, and the rest of the world. So 20 countries kind of are voting. Only public vote is there, which is tricky, because you will find out how tricky it is in the way of how neighbor votes really affecting a lot of everything. Lots of everything, and that's also the reason why jury's not being here. It's just not a good sign for the future. But I will tell you something about some countries. So for example, Austria voting, right? So Austria doesn't really like dancey songs, the public of Austria. They don't vote for it that much, only if it's very specific. They vote a lot for ballads, but with simple votes, like 8 is maximum, but normally it's like 5, 4 and less. Then everything in the middle, it's not supported that much. It's like 8, 7, 6 and that's it, almost. Fun acts or joke acts or quirky acts, something which gives more fun, just is also like very average, like very hard to predict. But also neighbor vote, which mostly counts for Switzerland, is here. And then what Austria really likes are ethnic songs with some ethno vibes. And also they really like to send points to Albania, or in general ex-Yugoslavia countries. This is because they have a lot of minorities there, so it makes sense. Malta, on the other hand, they like a lot of songs in the middle of the peloton. So it's not even really up-tempo dance, but it's not even a ballad. It's everything in between. They like joke acts. They not really like ethno things. They're not putting points there. And of course they don't have neighbors, so I didn't put like neighbor vote. I didn't even saw any pattern like in semifinals, because probably it's Italy, but in semifinal Italy is not present. Switzerland's love ballads, like really like ballads, and everything in the middle. A little bit of jokes, but not really. It must be something very exceptional, funny, like Karia last year. So this is not the way. Also, neighbor voting for Switzerland, it's not really so obvious. They put some points to Austria from time to time, but that's it. And ethno songs also are winning. This is also because the diasporas are here very present. And dancey songs. Like really dancey songs? Not really. Greece loves everything's in the middle. Greece likes Cyprus a lot, and also Albania a lot. Those are the two countries that are voting the most points. And also some ethno stuff. This mostly counts for Georgia or Armenia at some point. And they're keen to send votes to funny things, but again, it's like if it's exceptional, they will do it. Probably if they have so many things to choose, it will be hard for them to put like 12 points or something on them. A little bit of ballads, like they love ballads, they always send points to ballads, but not in a mass, like not high scores. And it's very fascinating, Greece really don't like dancey up-tempo songs. Like they sent over last 5 years just 6, 8, 12, 14 points. 14 points to dancey music, like really dancey, something like Fuego or something like that, which, for example, it's a bad news for Austria. Albania love ballads and everything in the middle, and also neighbor voting, ex-Yugoslavian countries. Denmark, big neighbor voting to every Scandinavian country is there. More likely Norway, more likely Sweden, more likely Iceland, and sometimes to Baltics, also sometimes for Estonia or Lithuania. But neighbor vote is here, like this is the biggest neighbor vote actually from semi-final to biggest neighbor voting. It's coming from Denmark's in the way of how many points they serve there. Basically, Denmark first give 12 and 10 points to their neighbors, and then they will do the rest. This makes a huge difference, right? I told you about. Israel likes dancey songs and funny songs, and also something in the middle. Estonia loves ballads, and Estonia loves neighbor voting, which means Baltics and Finland, more likely. Georgia like ballads. Georgia likes everything in the middle and likes fun. Georgia can really put a lot of votes to fun and also put votes to Armenia. Like when they have the chance, they put 12 points to Armenia. Netherlands, this is fascinating for me. They're also not really into that sending too many points to dancing songs, but they love to send points to fun. So this is good news for Estonia. And also everything in the middle, definitely Netherlands doesn't really enjoy ballads, or not really, not in a big way. Norway, not really for dancey songs, which is a surprise, but Norway really loves neighbor voting, every Scandinavian country, and also loves funny stuff. So this is where their points going the most, or in the biggest number. Latvia doesn't like dancey songs, doesn't really like ballads, really like everything in the middle, but also not that crazy. They love fun and they love their neighbors, and also some ethno stuff from time to time. San Marino, of course, San Marino is very specific because they have this kind of calculation. So if I just take it, they like everything at the same point. Of course, not neighbor vote and also not funny acts. They're like put the least points on funny acts, even less. Belgium loves ballads, not really jokes acts. Belgium also don't really neighbor vote, but let's see this year, because I think this year the emotions will be there. They will put 12 points to Netherlands for sure. I think they're not even meeting each other in the semifinals that often, really, but there's zero. They like some ethnic stuff, but they love ballads and everything in the middle. Not really that much dancey songs. Spain loves dancey songs. Spain really loves Portugal, and then ballads and everything in the middle. So it depends. Italy loves dancey songs. Italy don't really like ballads. Italy like jokish acts, but not that extreme, and then everything in the middle. Always puts a lot of points to Albania. France is also not for dancing that much, also not for ballads that much, for everything in the middle, for jokes a lot, or funny stuff, and not really too much neighbor voting, and also some ethno voting. You know, that also counts for the diasporas over there. So I forgot to talk about Czechia. Czechia likes dance music. Czechia loves everything in the middle. Czechia really loves jokes acts. Like really a surprise. And not really too much neighbor voting. Like it must be very something exceptionally good that we put votes to Austria or to Poland. Albania tends to send good points to dance music, not really ballads, like they put points there, but not 12, 10, 8s all the time. But that also comes with the twist that they love neighbor voting. Albania loves neighbor voting. Everything to ex-Yugoslavia countries, boom, it goes there. Armenia, not too much into dancing. Armenia is giving points to Georgia if they can. They like ethno music and they like ballads. Not really everything in the middle. They are a big exception actually, because they are the country who probably put the least points alongside with Norway to everything what is not extreme to some way, so, or specific. Ethno, clearly dancing, clearly fun, or clearly ballad. So they go for the extreme. I think it comes also that they tend to really go with stagings and the general feeling. So everything what is a genre which it's not really like Eurovision tends not to vote for it. Okay, and here are the results what I did. I'm not sure if I want to give you where I put all the points, but why not? I will then give you the summary, and you just, this part I will probably create a timestamp. I will do like some explanation, I will do this points giving, and I will do the results, so you can really choose what you want to do, because then it will be really long. Even I try to be speaking fast and so on, but it's still a lot of countries which I need to comment, and I want to do it clearly because I want this to be really relevant. So first I have Austria. Their 10 points will go to Netherlands. Also it comes with the fact that they like entries which are funny, and also it's a German speaking song at some part, so I think this will trigger. And Austria, from my perception, is giving 12 points to Switzerland. It will give it 12 points just because of the neighbor, but also because it's quality song, and they, if it's something exceptional, they give it 12 points for sure, and they have a good reason to do it. Malta, 8 points will go to Netherlands for fun. Then 10 points to Austria because it's a dancey song. 12 points go to Switzerland because they are doing universally points to everything, but my note was there that the quality matters. So Malta probably 12 points to Switzerland. This is my guess, right? Even mathematical, it's not accurate enough in my opinion. Switzerland, they will do a little bit different thing because they don't like really dancey songs. 8 points will go to Israel. 10 points will go to Albania, if not 12. 10 or 12 points go to Albania. They will put 12 points to Belgium because they love ballads. They just love ballads, so this, in my opinion, it's almost clearly done. Greece, because they really love ballads and they have no other, they don't have this fight. Greece, 8 points will go to Georgia, which they also tend to vote a lot for some reason. Then 10 points to Armenia, because it's ethnic, it will be very similar, and also they tend to give points to Armenia at some point. 12 points to Albania, this is automatic. Czechia, 8 points to Netherlands. Then 10 points to Estonia, because Czechs love fun, but melodical fun more likely. But Czechia definitely giving, I would be very surprised if Czechia won't give 12 points to Israel. It's like, this is almost clear. So 2 funny entries and Israel. Albania, 8 points will go from Albania to Austria, because also they like dancey songs, it's a community, they tend to vote to Austria in general in such ways. So 10 points to Greece, this is just like a neighbor voting. 12 points goes to Armenia. 12 points go to Armenia, they tend to vote to Armenia, they also tend to ethno songs, so 12 points go to Armenia. So this is my prediction how they will put those 3 types of points. Then the rest is separated among the others. Denmark, 8 points will go to Latvia. Clearly I can see the pattern there. The connection between Baltics and Scandinavia is just super close. 10 points to Estonia, almost whatever they sent, because if they cannot choose from other Scandinavian countries, more likely Estonia is the first country they are sending points to. And also because it's fun. Denmark likes fun, so this will go this way. Clearly Denmark, 12 points to Norway, whatever they send, and then the rest. Armenia, 8 points will go to Austria. Dancey song, it's something what they like. 10 points will go to Greece. This is how it is. And also because it will feel very similar. It's also kind of ethno. It's close somehow culturally. Even maybe you would say like, no, not even close, but somehow the pattern is clear. Armenia is giving 12 points to Georgia automatically, almost automatically every time they had the opportunity to do it. Israel, 8 points from this country, from Israel, will go to the Netherlands. Israel is giving 12 points to Austria or Czechia. I wrote Austria because the connection between Israel and Austria is really huge. And the same with Czechia. This historical connection is just done, and it's something what it's clear. This is how probably it will go. Estonia. So you can guess. 8 points Belgium, ballad lovers. 10 points Latvia. 12 points will go to Norway or Latvia. I choose Norway because this is the more likely the way where they put points if they cannot vote for Finland for some reason. Georgia, 8 points will go to Belgium. Also ballads, big song, big charisma, probably. Of course they can choose, for example, Latvia, they can choose Switzerland, but I believe that they will give this 8 points to Belgium, in my opinion. Maybe they will also give it to Greece, right? It's also possible that Georgia will vote for Greece much more. I put 3 points over there, but maybe they can spend more. Let's see. 10 points will go to Israel, very likely. 12 points to Armenia, of course. It's very hard to predict this. Netherlands, 8 points will go to Switzerland because they will understand this kind of quality which Switzerland represents this year. 10 points to Estonia because this is something like Netherlands really like funny acts. They will send points there. Netherlands giving 12 points to Belgium. Norway, 8 points will go to Latvia, which I wrote. Maybe it's absolutely a wild guess, but again, it's a Baltic countries, and they tend to give points to Baltic countries, and they not even too much into joke acts as they are for ballads. 10 points will go to Switzerland. They would like the song for sure. And you can guess 12 points go to Denmark automatically. I don't even hesitate it over there. Latvia, 8 points go to Denmark. This is not really obvious. They tend to put points to Scandinavian countries. 10 points will go to Norway, another not really obvious piece of points. And of course, very obviously, 12 points will go to Estonia. This is all very patternic voting. I'm very curious if it's gonna happen like this. San Marino, always very hard to predict, but I wrote 8 points to Estonia, 10 points to Switzerland. They will give 12 points to Netherlands, 2 funny acts, 1 serious. Belgium, 8 points will go to Norway because also they will like this rockish ethno vibe of it. They really like it from those patterns. 10 points will go to Switzerland. They love this kind of songs, the strong voice vocals. Belgium giving 12 points to Netherlands. Even it's not that clear that they normally would do it because also they're not meeting each other in the semifinals that often. So this is just a guess that they will just like it. It's like the song from Joost, it's so popular over there in this region that definitely it will mobilize people to vote for it. So this is all those countries, but also Spain is voting, and Spain is giving 8 points will go to Austria. Spain love to dance, so they will dance with Kalin. Then 10 points will go to Switzerland because they would love it. They would love this. It will exceed, and also because it also goes with this transgender or non-bi, whatever, you know, this topic, which in the patterns, the Spain, whenever such topics are appearing, in the semifinals, voting goes this way, you know, whatever it's going LGBT way, Spain put votes there in semifinals. And that I think it's connected also to the communities. I said that there tend to be more watching also semifinals, which in Spain probably is not such a huge thing. 12 points to San Marino because San Marino is represented by Spanish band. So I think this is clear. They are nationalists. They will send Spain 12. Spain will send Spain 12 points. Italy, completely different than Spain. 8 points will go to Greece, which for some reason it's ethno. They like this ethno things, and it will be even it's completely different culture. It will be very similar, familiar, and also it comes from some experience. 10 points will go also to Switzerland. This is the song which they will like, but also it's neighbor voting, and they put Switzerland votes. 12 points will go to Albania. This is a pattern, so more likely it will go to Albania. And France, 8 points will go to Armenia, also because of diasporas. 10 points will go to Albania. In this case, I believe that the diaspora this year will be very, very strong. And also the pattern for France to vote there, it's clear. France will put their 12 points to Switzerland. This, I think it's zero hesitation over there, because also it's a neighbor voting, in my opinion. And then the world. And the world, of course, so this is a wild guess, but then I will show you what is the big difference between if world is voting and not. And in this case, it's a big difference. 8 points will go to Armenia. 10 points will go to Israel. 12 points from the world will go to Albania, because they will mobilize the most of the people from other countries, from the minorities, to just go and put their votes. And now, who is qualifying? If I will just choose public voting without the rest of the world, the least points will receive San Marino. Like, San Marino is basically receiving almost zeros, sometimes 1, because some countries tend to vote for the rockish bands or so, but not really high numbers. So I put them also something to be realistic, because if I just don't just really put like who's voting for San Marino, because they're sending every year something different, I will probably put even less points. But this is more probably that it will go this way, and also Spain will make a big difference. And actually that they will do this, it will probably cost qualification for somebody else, probably. Georgia will come second to last with just 30 points. And I know that in my video about Georgia I said this is clearly qualified, but when I went with statistics, when I went for what countries are voting, this just don't belong at all. Like, it stands out in this Eurovision, in this semifinal, the way that it's the ultra cliche, soulless kind of song with a good melody, but somehow it's not that tempting and the rest of the countries, and they just won't be getting enough points. Just 30 points to Georgia. Second to last will be Czechia. If the second nationality of the artist wouldn't be a thing, and somehow this won't work, I think if they want to change the marketing strategy about it, Czechia just won't receive points, because it also with the song itself and with the history with those countries voting, it don't belong. It's like a gray zone somehow. So they will receive some points, something from here, but never enough to receive like big numbers. And for qualifying, you at least need to few times receive like 12, 10, or constantly 5, you know, which won't be the case. 36 points will go to Malta. They will receive a little bit more points because it's a dancey song, but because all those countries don't tend to put 12 and 10s, and also because of the neighbor voting, but 10s and 12s, 8s to dancey songs en masse. Like, they won't put 2 dancey songs together, they will choose one. And I think in this case Austria has a bigger chance. Just a guess, you know. Also, I can be very wrong in this, but this is what I also think it will be. 55 points will go to Greece, and Greece will not qualify. Now I'm counting not the votes from the world, right? But Greece is not qualifying, not enough points. Countries will more likely choose Armenia. Even we can think anything about the song. It's the disaster of this Eurovision, not Armenian song, but the fact that how countries are approaching the contest, and this will just work. It will snap this ethno feeling, whether it doesn't have any lyrics, because only public is voting and they won't really think about it that much, in my opinion. So Armenia, so if they can choose between those two countries, they will choose Armenia, because after all, it's more melodical than Greece. Greece is hard to catch. Greece is very hard to catch, it's very specific, and they won't receive enough points to qualify if world is not voting. This is 55, and Albania with 59 is the last non-qualifier if rest of the world won't vote. Now, why I'm doing this table, I want to show you that last year, for qualifying from second semifinal, you needed 74 points, and the difference between the other one was 30 points. But it was completely different combination of countries, and there was not such support from, in general, neighbor voting, which in this year, how it's drawn, the neighbor voting is a thing. it's like, it's a crazy thing. It will make a huge difference. And also much more countries will receive points from the other ones because their patterns talk this way. Their patterns say like they will put 5 to this, 4 to this, 5 to this, 4 to this, and completely differently. So what will need to be qualified is less from the 10th place, but what you will lose between who's not qualifying and who's qualifying is also a few points difference, because only 3 countries will receive less than 40, and then the rest around 60, and that will be huge. It will be a big drama in my opinion this year. So now who's qualifying, and that actually means that Austria is qualifying, it means that Switzerland is clearly qualifying, Denmark, Armenia, Israel is qualifying, and Latvia, with the fact that Israel is qualifying only 1 more point difference from Albania from the last, and Latvia only 4 points difference, and only 9 points difference is Denmark and Armenia. So countries who will, in my opinion, for sure qualify, for sure. Austria, Switzerland, Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, and Estonia. 6 countries are qualifying for sure. Then other 6 countries are fighting for 4 slots, and there will be very minimum differences between them. It's Greece, Albania, Denmark, Armenia, Israel, Latvia, 6, and then the rest is out of the game somehow. 6 countries fight. So who's qualifying if the world is in? So with the biggest amount of points will be Switzerland, 135 I wrote that they could receive. 113 points will go to the Netherlands, 98 points will go to Estonia, 96 points go to Austria, 89 points go to Norway, 77 go to Armenia. Now the funny thing, 71 go to Albania. So from non-qualifier, the rest of the world can do qualifiers. 68 will go to Denmark. They won't receive anything from the world, but they will still have enough points to qualify. 70 goes to Israel. Also, they will receive a lot from the rest of the world. This is it. And the countries who won't qualify is San Marino, is Georgia, is Czechia, is Greece, and is Malta. And even Greeks will receive points from the rest of the world. It won't be enough because the difference between 12 and, for example, 7 points, it's just huge. It's 5 points difference that you cannot jump it, you know. 6 countries will be fighting for 4 places. I think the rest is probably out of the game, and if something is changed, I still think that the first 6 I said, they are clearly qualifiers. They have their way very safe. If somebody will, for example, Czechia will starting to receive more points than I predicted, it will even kill the chances of somebody else. It will be even less points needed, and then 2 more places, like let's say 10 and 9th, and maybe also 8th. This will be a crucial fight for every single 1 point. It won't happen like last year that there is a big gap between the 11th and 10th. It will be 3 points, 5 points, 6 points, 2 points, maybe 1 point. And it's crazy because most of those little differences is based on neighbor voting and diasporas. It would nothing have to do with quality. It would have only matters of neighbor voting and diasporas. This is the most crucial thing which gives or doesn't give points to some countries. And I think if this is gonna happen, this will be the huge argument for just reinvent the system completely, or get back juries, reinvent it, but get them back. Because in here, if this I'm able to predict it, and if it's going to be true or close, then something is amazingly wrong. Because then, if I'm the producer, I will go through this, I will wait for the draw, and then I will find a song which will fit. I will just do maximum to try to find a song which will fit to patterns of voting. That's what I would do, because this is the only way for survival, especially for the countries who don't have diasporas, who don't have neighbor voting, who cannot really expect this. And because I would like to have my country in the finals, because this is the motivational factor to find the artists for the next years. I would do maximum, you know. And the problem is, the issue is that with this system, everything starts to be demotivational. We already see that very local songs are going to Eurovision, which completely kills the feeling that you need to go with something worldwide quality, the hit, because it start to be useless, you know, because of how public is voting, and it will come to the big digress, all of it, as what I see. And actually this semifinal, it's a big benchmark of it, because exactly it shows a lot of local music, lots of local music, and lots of ethnic music combined with this crazy factor of diasporas and especially neighbor voting. It's a deadly thing. And because the draw you cannot affect, this can really happening all the time. And where then is the motivation for the countries to try to find a good song? They will just send their popular artists from their homeland, which the quality is like, if I just can go, like, I think Czechia was there in 2000s, and it doesn't work. And it doesn't work for the name of Eurovision. It never worked at Eurovision. The Eurovision was absolutely terrible back then when this was happening. And it took Eurovision several years to come back to the track. And actually when I was doing these calculations, the statistics, I found out that those previous years were such good, you know, such good, that they were really stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And now I can see the clear digress. Like, for example, this Eurovision for sure don't have a hit, any hit. It doesn't have international hit. It won't. And I don't even believe in it. There is nothing that strong appealing to become a hit. Maybe the Eurovision winner, whoever it will be, very hard to predict, probably Ukraine in my opinion still. But this is just an opinion, it's not based on calculations. And the rest, yeah, this will be very hard, but I don't know. Do you like my metrics? I will probably put more into it. I will try to edit this video. I don't know how I will do it because I'm talking a lot, but also chaotically. And that's it. So write me in the comments below, how did you like this punk crazy video again? Write me in the comments below, what do you think about it? Write me in the comments below if you have any mathematical method, because this I did on my knees. Maybe if I put AI into it, maybe if I, you know, do much more concrete metrics, I would come out with a little bit different results. But I kind of believe that I was very accurate at some point, and I'm very curious how much close I will be. Also, I didn't see any other performance. This is just statistics talking, right? So yeah, actually this is very emotionless at some point. So this is it from me. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, write me in the comments below, buy me a coffee, and yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.